anything specific you want me to talk about again, or do you want me to just go through the map, like,
Oh yeah, like pretty
of
much everything, like how to do miss and like how to do sacks.
how to do sacks?
Yeah,
Okay.
like what should we be doing when they're pushing up and stuff like that when we have the point? How to
Uh,
retake points, basically everything.
okay. Um, I'll start with mids. There's like 100 different mids you could do, so I'm like, do you guys want? I could give you like a set mid, or I could just like tell you general things about mids. Like, do you guys have a mid you want to do, or do you like have no idea what you should do for
Uh,
mids?
I think we're just open right now. Like we don't really have like much in plan.
Okay. Well, I would say the best mids are always aggressive mids. Like, you want to walk across the point with your whole team at the same time. Um, if you try all those and it's really not working, you could do like a passive slower mid, where you kind of just wait for them to die, like wait for them to get aggressive into you, kill them, and then walk. But the most important thing, no matter what mid you do, is like all 9 of you guys have to be fighting at the same time. So like the timing is what's really going to change for mids. And you guys, like everybody who isn't your demo or whoever calls the mids, has to be listening to that one person for the timing of when to start fighting. And that's why like aggressive mids I think are better because they're easier to call a timing. If you're the ones that aggress first, you can decide like when to start the fight. Whereas if you play passive, they could like overrun your flank and your flank is caught out while your combo isn't ready to fight or something. So I would recommend just go with like an aggressive mid. Have your anybody in your team, preferably like your scout or spy, call the sniper for your demo. Um, and just have your demo call which side to walk. So your scout or spy is going to call if their sniper is porch or cliff or concrete or whatever. Just find the sniper first, and then say the sniper is cliff. Your demo is going to call, okay, walk right, and all of you guys fight at the same time. And they walk with your demo across the right side, kill them behind rock, or if they're walking left or meeting you, fight them here. It's going to be super messy, but the most important thing is just that all 9 of you guys, like I said, are fighting at the exact same time. And now where that gets kind of complicated is like, what do you do when like your heavy is out of position or some shit, or like you're like missing a class because he got sniped or some shit early. Um, it's okay. Like if you lose a player, don't decide to just leave the mid or don't decide to do a passive mid because you're not a player. Just play exactly the same way. Like don't you can't have any players not participate because they think it's a losing fight. Like if you're down 2 players early on the mid, you should still fight the mid and try and kill the medic and or cap the point. Don't just run away because like it's the same on every single Koth map. Winning the mid is a huge advantage for the rest of the game. So those are, like I said, 2 big things to keep in mind. Fight at the same time. Don't bait. Even if you think it's a losing fight, you still commit and try and do your job. For specific classes, like again on this, it's Koth. Have your spy try and do an aggressive decloak, so he can participate at like the same time and get like a kill when it's still valuable to get a kill early on in the mid. Have your soldier. He can either roll out cliff and do like the pride bomb, or he could roll out main with your team and bomb off of here and jump, do this jump, land on their China. And this is like a great spot for pretty much any mid you guys try to do, because if you land here, you can get pressure on the sniper cliff, gets pressure on the sniper China, and you can get pressure on the sniper if he goes porch. So that's a great jump for that. This cliff jump is really good if you know their sniper loves going cliff over and over and over again, but it can still work if they're porch. If you're a soldier, you land here, their sniper porch has to turn and look at you. Um, so yeah, like just make sure to get pressure on their sniper too on the mids, and then beyond that, it's just everybody on our team has to walk across and like make sure you are healing your demo man and scout for the most part. Buff up your heavy 450 and then ignore him and just give him bows while you tank your demo. And that's pretty much it. If you win the mid, great. If you lose the mid, try and sell out for the medic, and if that doesn't work, you just reset. So I'll just assume that we'll just talk like you lost the mid. This is a refight. For refights, small thing, but for your NG, I'd recommend putting the telly in-house in this spot here rather than out here, because I don't know how common this is in advance, but in invite, a lot of teams like doing like super aggressive forward holds, and a lot of times they forget to kill the telly. And if they do that, whenever you're trying to bust out your heavy or some shit, can take the telly and be out like behind them, come out up here and be on top of them, and stop their forward hold. But yeah, step one when repushing is make sure that the other team isn't forward holding. Do teams like do that in advance? Have you guys scrimmed this map at all? Do you think that other teams will
Teams will
forward hold at all?
Yeah, they'll forward hold pretty
Okay,
regularly if they can.
They go flank like when they forward hold, like they'll be on our
like
flank.
heavy grass. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
well, for like basics of breaking forward hold, I'd say just send it cliff. Every time you guys think they could be forward holding, anybody who's alive should try and get out and get space on cliff, because like the big weakness of the forward hold is the only class that can really control cliff from over here is a sniper. So you just want to get presence out there to stop them from like getting more ground and controlling main. And like I said, if your telly's still up, which hopefully it is if it's in here, just have somebody take the telly if they're forwarding, and then bust through at the same time. Just get out on cliff.
Where exactly do you want the telly? Does it matter, or does it just have to be somewhere in house?
In here, this corner is
Okay.
probably best. Yeah, get a high ground on cliff. If the other team is like really good about forwards, what they could do is they could anticipate you going cliff and come over here and meet you. If that's the case, don't just like try and bust out into them. If you see stickies here, call it off, cancel it, and you're gonna do like the more advanced way to break the portal, which is you need split pressure. I would recommend setting like combo players main. I'd say probably demo heavy pyro medic come out main with a soldier bombing through first. So like your soldier will jump through here, or sorry, I meant grass. I don't know if I said main. Your soldier will jump through here, and if the heavy's here, he's gonna track the soldier, and then everybody else gets through after. And you just worry a lot about this heavy here. Once you kill him, just try and like regroup on grass, take space, and then eventually regroup house. And they shouldn't be forwarding anymore. Oh, I should have mentioned, while you're doing this, you can send your sniper main with another player to peek this angle while they're forwarding. This is a great angle. Yeah, also if they're forwarding and it's, they should, like this is probably obvious, but just make sure you remember it in game. Like, if they're forwarding and they have Uber add, step one should be get a force. Don't commit your medic, don't have your medic die. Have somebody back with your medic, like an engineer, watching in case somebody tries to flank. And just send us like a 8-man or 7-man sack. Try to get the force first. All right, so you broke the forward. You're behind house. It's a repush. I'll just go through like disadd, even, and add Ubers. If it's disadd, probably. You mentioned like you want to do sacks.
Yeah.
I'd say this map is probably slightly better for drying, but you can still do sacks. So I'll just assume that's what you guys want to do. If you're doing sacks, you should probably send. Probably go off cliff is best. You could have soldier demo, cliff, come cliff, get buffs, do like this bomb here, just get on them as soon as you can, and just have it like you could have your heavy and NG and shit. Or actually, you should just have your NG lead with your medic, and everybody else just bots across the point at the same time. So like, have your soldier demo cliff with medic. You could have other players like here or base cliff, and just run across the point. Call like a countdown based on the clock, like at the top of the screen, say they have like, we'll say like going at 250, and then when the clock hits 250, you guys all commit at the same time. It's actually pretty simple. I mean, that's why they're good. Just make sure if you make sure all of your players are in them, like your spy is ready, soldier demo are bombing and buffed, they will work like most of the time. Anything specific with sacks, or is that like what you expected to hear? Basically, just go at the same time and bomb at the same time, and have your spy in behind.
Actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, as a scout, when you're like sacking, which way should you go? Like, which door should you go through?
Well, wherever your medic is, because you want to get a buff. So if you guys are gonna go off cliff, this is fine. You can just come off cliff here, like just jump right here. get on them. I'm assuming they're going to be playing like behind rock when they're expecting sacks. But if they're on point, it should be even easier for us from Cliff because they have no vision. If they're on concrete though, you could probably, like, I'm guessing it's a sack from spawn, so go from here or rule out house first and then pop around. But the most important thing with sacks is just timing, making sure you're all in at the same time. Where you go from isn't as important. So I'll assume, like, great, that worked, but you didn't get the force, whatever. It's an even fight now. If you're going to exchange, most of the time, I would say just everybody regroup behind house. Everybody has to come to your medic for buffs. This is important. Don't cross this sight line, or don't make your medic cross this sight line. Just have like your heavy and soldier and flank players come to like right here and have your medic buff them across the sight line so that you don't get sniped from rock sniper, which 99% of snipers will be playing on rock. So yeah, don't make your medic cross this. Get a buff, have everybody ready behind house, and then get on your demo, clear this trap, put a sticky down, take the Uber, use, get on them, make them use, back up. While you're like backing up though, this is important, try to damage their flank. Have your combo, like your number one priority during Ubers should be living, but your number two should be fighting the flank and trying to damage like the heavy and soldier or anybody who's here as much as possible. Because once you back out, if your Ubers like are about even, you'll probably end behind rock. If it's horrible, you'll have to get all the way out, but either way, it's fine. Walk back in the post Uber, and now your heavy and soldier should be focused on fighting flank. So if any damage you did during the Uber, like they won't be able to reheal because you should be going fast enough. So in the post Uber, I would say just general rule, have your demo like walk up with your heavy and soldier at the same time, taking control of concrete. And with that said, like if their flank is playing super aggressive, don't just like ignore them for the first part of the Uber. Use the Uber, get the force, and then like kill these guys. And it's okay to like end grass or end in a weird spot. But if they're playing super committed during the Uber, as a combo, your focus should be killing them. So demo and scout, that's your job during the Uber. Shoot the flank. Yeah, like I said, for post Ubers, I personally like as demo playing like this left side mostly because it's pretty rare for snipers to sit on cliff like while they have the point because it's like kind of isolated from his team. So usually like this flank side is a better spot because you can help your flank. You can also be helped by your flank. And typically it's like a closer angle to the sniper who's gonna be playing like rock area or pocket. Yeah, I think. Oh, one thing I'll say, I'll go for dries real quick. For dries, for the most part, I'd say porch is the best angle. Just because it's really annoying. Like if their flank is playing super aggressive and you don't have an Uber to get through the choke with, you will never get through this choke if they're playing aggressive without like either dying or using Uber. So with that in mind, if it's dry, I would have your demo and sniper peek porch together. So literally have your demo call a countdown like 3, 2, 1, peek, and then your sniper and demo have to peek this angle at the same time. Oh, that said, your sniper doesn't have to be like next to him. Like your sniper could peek China or whatever, or like Cliff or something. But just make sure your demo can't be like solo sniped as the first one peeking here. That's the important idea. And then yeah, just walk up, take space. Once you like establish yourselves behind rock and try and reheal a bit, just like same thing. Have your demo call 3, 2, 1, walk, and everybody walks across the point and gets kills. If they're playing like super passive though, like if they're giving you space and you think you can get away with it, you could just call, okay, instead of walking, we're just gonna edge cap. You just tank your scout and he just sits on a corner of the point where he will not get shot at. So either this corner or this corner. You just only heal your scout. Everybody else tries to avoid as much damage as possible, and contribute to cap as much as possible, and just try and get the point while they're like hiding. This will probably be super common in advanced. Now that I think about it, you guys could probably get away with this like a lot if you just heal your scout only and just edge the cap. Because a lot of teams are probably going to be playing too passive to actually kill him. So that's evens, disads, and dries. For ads, doesn't really matter where you take the Uber from, wherever you can give buffs to your other players, because they're going to be going in with Uber. So for that, main is typically the best with ad. Same thing, like don't cross the sight line before, have your flank players get buffed, get on your demo, sticky down, jump through, use, try and catch them in. Try and coordinate with your spy to have him behind during the Uber when it's ad, and just make sure you get the point. You recap and everybody walks up and controls like concrete, controls connector. You get people on the point during the Uber. So I think that's it for repushes. Anybody have like class specific things they want help on for repushes? Okay, I'll talk about holds then. For holds, well, first of all, do you guys like the forward hold, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you all? Everybody knows where they should be during the forward hold. All have like ideas.
I think we should probably go over like that because I'm not sure
Okay.
if everyone's familiar.
All right. So I'll just start with like demo medic. As demo, your main job, lock down this door. This is like job number 1. And then once you have this stickied up, if you can, try and get this like aggressive trap. This is really good. Get this trap. Reload, and then don't expect them to just walk through main once they know that you're forward. You should be ready to help either your cliff players or your grass players with the Uber, but just hold this trap and be ready to like look at something else. For your like scout, you're mostly just playing with your medic, getting ready to shoot things that your demo is shooting. For heavy, you will be playing this head glitch right here, controlling grass. Grass is your main responsibility. If they're not sending anything grass, the good thing about this spot is you can like come here and just hold this angle from here without them like immediately seeing you. Soldier, you kind of have options, but your options are either you play like with the medic, ready to shoot grass with your heavy, and like you just play close with your heavy, or you can play on cliff with your engineer and just kind of like spam this choke. You can get a deep spot this way, just make sure you don't get sniped, and call a rotate if you see like beam is coming this way. So I would recommend probably just go with the cliff spot so that you can tell your demo when to rotate. So have your soldier just pretty much play here, and don't like overcommit to dying once they're here. Just spam it, back up, have your demo deal his damage, and then you can like rebomb and collapse on the choke while your combo is fighting this. For engineer, you could have like a pretty passive mini here. I would say, well, you kind of have choices for your mini, but basically you're just spotting here with your soldier, looking at the doorway, you're spy checking around. For your mini, you could either have like a passive mini that denies the bomb if they try to send their soldier out here, or you could have like a more aggressive mini, like something here that kind of watches the doorway. For your, let's see, pyro, sticking with the medic, spy checking. If you can, you could like kind of get close to a doorway and try and like stuff it if you know they're gonna sack. But just like kind of chilling back and checking for your medic is probably the better thing to do. And like waiting for this, because the soldier's probably gonna get through one of the doorways, so just keep track of the soldier in your head and the spy. Let's see what else. Sniper, you should have somebody like playing on him, either your pyro or your scout, whoever's not with your medic currently. And sniper can play like pretty much anywhere along grass. Just make sure like if he's playing here, your heavy knows that and is like committed more so that he can't die, obviously. And if he's like playing out here, this is fine. So you can watch Cliff mostly. Kind of move around a lot, so it's hard for them to play. And spy, you're also just trying to get info. So any doorway that you can, just go invisible and look through it. If you can, this is kind of like weird, but if you can be on cloak and dagger and call from their spawn, that's really good. Or just like poke in, call from their spawn, and then back out. That's like the best thing you can do, but that's not really easy to do. So just kind of like watch a doorway and be ready to take fights with your team, like with your revolver. Is that everything? I think that's every class. But yeah, basically for the forward hold, just everybody has their doorways to watch. And if you need help on your doorway, you have to make that clear. You have to say, I need help on grass, or I need help cliff. But I would say for your demo, from your demo's perspective, the most common thing like other teams are going to do that you need to respond to is they're going to just say, oh, they're forwarding, let's all go cliff. Okay, so then you just have your combo. So Pyro, Scout, Demo, Medic, all come over here. Start watching this with your NG Soldier who are already here. Sometimes you don't get here fast enough to shoot the doorway. That's fine as Demo. Just do as much damage as you can to these players trying to come out cliff. And if you need to like back up, just like cut the angle here and have like your players help you. While that's happening, the players over here, so Sniper, Heavy, you guys kind of have to expect that they're going to have some sort of split pressure. The most common one is probably going to be main. So you guys should probably like drop down, abandon grass for a bit, and try and get a little bit closer to your team. Your Heavy can kind of like play here and spot this. Or you could like kind of stay up here and spot it from up here. And just hope that they like don't kill you fast enough when if they come out here, which they probably won't. It's really hard to kill a Heavy in this position. Okay, I think that's it for the forward, or at least like the traditional forward hold. There's a lot of holds you guys can try. Honestly, like just make sure you're all on like the same page of where like your combo is at a time, and I think you'll all be able to come up with like a good idea of where you should be playing. Because honestly, on this map, like it's been played so much, like there's like you can hold on concrete, you can like hold up here, you can hold like close to here, like this has been done before. You can hold on their grass like that aggressive hold. If you want to, you can take their cliff. You can play like left point. You can play dog bread. You can play like almost anywhere on the map for as a hold and have it be successful as long as everybody on your team knows where it is. But I'll just assume like the two main holds are you're gonna be doing is like forward hold and like the passive hold on rock. When you're holding on rock, the main idea is protect your sniper on this position and give him sniper calls and buffs. And once their combo, like, well, first of all, your like first line of defense is the sniper pretty much. So your spy is constantly going to be calling where are they going to push from. If they're going valley, your sniper is scoped up on valley from rock, which makes it really hard for them to get up. And then once they like cross this line and are committed, you need somebody with vision to call they're committed, and then you guys are going to walk up and meet them. Whether or not I would say, if you have Uber, probably delay this until they use Uber, because most teams in advance are not going to milk at all. They're just going to use immediately, which is good for you guys. But if it's dry, walk up and try and fight them when they're in these like low ground positions. Like this is when you want to fight a team, when they're playing down here or they're like playing in this corner. You want to like walk up to the point and then start killing them. Make sure you all like are on the same page though. Your demo, like I said, should call a countdown. Make sure everybody's going in at the same time. That's very important. And have your sniper just protected on this rock with the buff on whatever angle they're coming in. And you should always be getting advantages if your sniper is hitting shots. I think that's all that's like, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for holds. Like disad, just be ready to leave with your medic. You should call, your medic should call which side he wants to leave or which side he's like playing to leave. And your scout should leave with him while your pyro denies the Uber when it's disad, and then you just come back in through whichever doorway is safest. For even Ubers, make sure your flank isn't playing too committed. Like, by flank, by the way, I mean like soldier heavy. Make sure that they know what the Ubers are, so you guys should be keeping track of what the Ubers are in your head. But also, if it's even, don't be playing on their concrete when it's even. This is a great spot for when it's dry, because it takes a lot of like effort for them to push you out. But if they have an Uber, they're just gonna walk through the choke for free anyways, so you're just gonna be a free kill in the Uber. I would say, like, best positioning is just being on your concrete, ready to leave when it's during the Uber when it's even. But when it's ad, same like when it's ad, just pretend it's even pretty much because you're gonna be walking in with your team, with the Uber. I think that's it for point holds. Anything specific you guys needed help with or wanted advice on? Nope, that's it for holds.
Actually, for rollouts, if the medic rolls out on pocket, should the scout like if the scout and demo are rolling out main, should the scout like extend a bit to the right side so like the medic can like use his speed to like cross rock or whatever?
You said if medic rolls
The
out
demo wants to play
pocket.
that. Yeah.
I would say. I mean, I wouldn't recommend ever going pocket, just because you're kind of like. It's like safer, but it just puts you in it like discourages you from walking across the point. Which, when your team is like fighting and walking, getting aggressive, you should be with them, because that's gonna be the safest spot on the map. I know this appears safe, but if your whole team is like playing up here on Dogbread, that is very unsafe. Because if a bomb comes in or a spy, you're gonna be alone. So I would say just suck it up and play rock for the like 3 seconds while you're waiting, and then start moving as a team. But that said, if your team isn't moving and you guys are sitting behind rock, that's not on your medic. But you kind of have to trust that your team won't be doing that, because pocket isn't a great spot for mids. But yeah, I guess while you mentioned it, for rollouts, like if their demo is doing like the aggressive rollout and getting stickies here, don't roll out into the stickies. If you see 2 stickies on the ground here, you guys can just turn and go porch, and it literally doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't waste any time. Don't take like stupid damage in the beginning of the mids, and try and avoid the pipe spam and shit that's gonna be coming over the rock.
If sniper goes cliff on mid, should heavy go with him or should just stick with engineer?
If you want your
Engineer.
sniper, yeah. I would say send your engineer with your sniper on mids, but that said, your sniper shouldn't linger on cliff too long. Well, I guess it depends on how they're playing it. If they're playing super like flank heavy, then it's okay to have your sniper and NG kind of linger there, assuming everybody else is like actively fighting them. But the risk is, if your NG's here and your sniper's here, like your NG isn't gonna stop a soldier bomb. You can still get 2 rocketed and killed instantly. It's not really a safe position if they're playing smart and their soldier bombs you. Whereas like once you're closer to your combo, your pyro is in the combo and can reflect. So that's like the better late mid positioning. But yeah, just have your heavy rollout, preferably wherever your soldier goes. So if your soldier wants to bomb cliff, then it's okay to like have your. Oh, I forgot to mention that. While you're, as like a general rule on this map, have your heavy and NG be playing on opposite sides of the map. So if your NG's playing flank, you could have your heavy playing cliff, and if your heavy's playing flank, have your NG on cliff, so that you always have like one person controlling the map from a different place. Good. Sorry, I kind of rambled for a bit. Did that answer your question?
It was good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. All right.